How's it going, everyone? Let me know if you guys can hear me. I imagine. Alright, I'm just gonna post this a few places just to alert people that I'm doing a live stream. And then we'll go ahead and jump in. If you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. All right, guys. Yeah, so I mean, we published the video a few weeks ago, back when Ethereum was $230, right? We said accumulation phase of a lifetime. And I really do think that it continues to be the case. And I think that, as we've said all along, right, if Bitcoin just stays, sort of bullish, right, but doesn't get too carried away, then this is exactly what Ethereum needs to shine, right? Exactly what Ethereum needs. It's not, it's just the data, right? It's not our emotions. It's just saying, and we looked at the data, and the data suggests that when Bitcoin is above its 20-week moving average, and especially above its 20 and its 50, in case they're flip-flopped for a short term, as long as Bitcoin holds that level and does not get too crazy itself, right, and does not go into a full bubble itself, then Ethereum will likely shine, right? This is the argument that we've made. And we've been following that argument for the duration of a lot of 2020, right? We saw in early 2020 when Ethereum took off against Bitcoin, and then we're seeing it again now. So, this, again, I mean, it's just business as usual. And as we've said many times, right, what we're looking for, what I would like to see happen is to see a short-term Ethereum bubble against Bitcoin, right? So this is what we're looking for. And arguably, we're already in one of these. I mean, it's up. If we were to just take a measured move here, right, from the bottom, if we just take a measured move here from this bottom, it's already up, 123% since January. And this is against Bitcoin. I mean, against USD, it's just ridiculous, right? I mean, it's up from the bottom of the wick. Let's go from the bottom of the wick in March. It's already up 400% or so. So, it's still moving. You could argue that we're certainly in the beginning phases of a bubble, if not already in one outright. But our hypothesis, or our hope, our theory, is that as long as Bitcoin stays bullish, right, barely bullish, we don't want Bitcoin to get too carried away, not yet. And by what I mean by that, right, is we want to see it stay a healthy level here, right, above the 20-week moving average. We don't need any scares anytime soon. And if that's the case, right, if you see it just kind of holding these levels, as we said in a few videos, 11.4, 11.5, 11.6, 11.7, it's going to continue to pave the way for an increase in the Ether Bitcoin ratio, because as we said, the first time that Ethereum crossed 400, it coincided with Bitcoin crossing 12,000. The second time Ethereum crossed 400, Bitcoin was less than 12,000, and the third time it was like it was 12.6 or 12.7, and like the fourth time it was 12.5 or 11.5, not 12, 11.5. So every time it crosses it, it's a systematic shift of the Ethereum ratio against Bitcoin, right? And when you live it every single day, you kind of get lost, right? You can't see the trees because of the forest, right? But if you take a step back, and you look at what 2020 will be remembered by, right? In terms of the Ethereum ratio, you look at the beginning of 2020, and the ratio was around 0.017, and it has systematically continued to move up throughout the duration of 2020, and now it's 0.038. So it's already up 2x, more than 2x from the bottom. And so 2020, as we said many times, and we said this is the accumulation phase of a lifetime. Remember if we put down the let's go ahead and add the regression curve here. So, I mean, if you guys probably remember it, I presume, right? But it was right here, right? We made a lot of videos saying, dreaming of spring, accumulation phase of a lifetime, blah blah blah, and then we have blast off, and now what we're looking for is to be smart about this, right? You want to be smart about it. You don't want to get let FOMO take over, right? You don't want to just think that Ethereum has to go to like 5K in 2020, right? It's just almost assuredly not happening. But what it does give us the opportunity to do is, you could start taking profits, right, whenever you want. But if you see this continue to move up, right, and go into a further bubble against Bitcoin, remember, this is what we've said all along, and this is what I'm hoping for. Again, what I hope doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? What Ben hopes, it's complete, it does not matter, right? We just react, it's about how you react to it, not what you hope happens. But what I do hope is that it comes up and goes into this shorter term bubble against Bitcoin. Not against, of course against USD, but I'm looking for one against Bitcoin, right? And the argument, right, is if you can hold just Bitcoin and perform better than the market, than say like an index of other coins, then why not just hold Bitcoin, right? You're just complicating your taxes. Of course, there's reasons from a risk aversion standpoint. Someone says Ethereum only sucks if you don't have any. That's probably a good point. So what we're looking for, and again, I'm not this YouTube channel. It's not flashy, right? I'm not gonna try to hype this up more than it is. What we're looking for is a bubble, right? A bubble to form, and it's just the nature of crypto, right? For bubbles to form, it's like humans just can't help themselves in a sense, right? You would think, you would think, right? A lot of us we're getting it in this area, right? We were getting in over here. You would think that the people, that you might be near the top now, and it's possible that we are near the top. But don't underestimate human FOMO, like the fear of missing out, and the fear of, oh my gosh, like, have I missed the train? Do I need to jump on now? Do I need to jump on now, etc.? And this is what drives it, right? And if you aren't aware, if the entire DeFi subclass of cryptocurrency went through a pretty speculative bubble already, and a lot of them are in various phases of recovery, and some of them are continuing to climb to higher highs. So with Ethereum, and as we said before, all these other coins are moving first. We made another video on Ethereum saying, it takes giants to move mountains, and this is what you've seen. You've seen a lot of these projects go into these, bubbles, and then when you take profits from them, it naturally just flows back into Ethereum, right? A lot of it goes back into Ethereum, and then it's kind of Ethereum's time to start shining, and I think the time has come. I clearly we could retrace in the short term, right? Especially if Bitcoin decides to kick the bucket or something. But if Bitcoin holds these levels, and again, the argument is that Bitcoin doesn't have to do anything spectacular, right? Just let it chill at 11,699. Let it chill here, and let's just let Ethereum do its thing, right? Let's let Ethereum do its thing, because I guarantee you that Ethereum is watching Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin starts to move up too quickly, or it starts to move down too quickly, then these gains from today will be, they could be reversed in a very short period of time. So it's about how you react, and what we're looking for, again, is we're looking for a bubble to form on the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, which arguably I would say it's already forming. Like the bubble has already started. I think we're in at the very least we're at the beginning stages of a bubble, and if it does continue to move up, right, then this is where I want you guys to make sure you pay attention, okay? Because historically speaking, right, and the stars have to align to some degree, and the argument again, as I've said before, is the December Ethereum buy, right? The December buy of Ethereum against Bitcoin, and the reason is because we've seen it. December tends to be a good time to see a good 90-day ROI, against Bitcoin. This one being an 1,800% move. This one here, sorry, that's not starting in December. This one starting in, that was starting in December. So starting in December, going up just through the first quarter, so about 90 days, a 600% move. This December buy up to the first quarter, a 350% move. This December buy up into the first quarter, a 73% move. This December buy up into the first quarter, a 67% move. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. And I want you guys to take a step back and don't think of it in terms of like day trading, right? Don't think of it like, okay, well, Ethereum it went up a little bit today, therefore I have to react immediately. Think about it in terms of like a macro perspective, right? Because to some degree, a lot of these, depending on what country you live in, depending on how long you've been holding, depending on your income tax bracket, you're creating a taxable event, right? So consider the taxes, of course, and let's look at it from a macro perspective, right? So if this trend continues, right? If this trend continues, and by the way, for those who don't know my stance on traditional technical analysis, I think it's mostly a random walk, right? I think in the short term, like tomorrow, Ethereum could be 420, the next day it could be 400, the next day it could be 430, and the next day it could be 470, right? Short term, completely impossible to accurately predict consistently. Of course, some people are going to get it right sometimes, but completely impossible to predict it accurately on a consistent basis. But one of the key indicators in terms of, say, if you want to call it technical analysis, is that things, assets that are moving upwards tend to continue moving upwards more so than assets that are not. And yes, I've said that before. I know it sounds like common sense, like you could be written in a children's book, but think about it. Like, the idea, right, is that assets that continue to move up like this in the short term, or so over a few months period, right, or a few years, are more likely to continue to move up than an asset that is not moving up. So you find an asset that's not moving up, right? Let's find one. You guys know I like to pick on XRP. Let's pick on XRP. So you look at XRP and you say, okay, this is an asset that has not been moving up, right? It's been moving down for the most part. And yeah, you'll see little bunny hills, right? I mean, who cares about this? This is nothing. But this, right, this is more of a downtrend, right? So assets that move down are more likely to continue moving down over assets that are not already moving down. It's just momentum, right? I mean, it's a fancy way of talking about momentum. So this is why I say holding XRP right now before Bitcoin's to its all-time high, huge opportunity cost, right? You look at assets that are moving up, they're more likely to move up than assets that are not moving up. So this trend is more likely to continue than, say, all of a sudden seeing Ethereum, it would be more likely to continue that this keeps going up than say a scenario where this all of a sudden drops and this turns around, right? So the chances that this completely turns around and that this one turns around, those chances are very low. And it's just common sense if you think about it. It's not rocket science. Let me see if there's any questions here. Okay, so again, with regards to Ethereum, we're right around 445. Business as usual, right? Business as usual. We recognize the risk we took over here. It has paid off in the short term. If you're talking about your 90-day ROI, it is certainly an impressive 90-day ROI. And what I'm hoping, right? Again, I mean, of course, there's profit taking, right? And remember to check out the premium list if you're interested in how I go about with the risk levels. But again, don't be shocked if it continues to move up, and don't be shocked if you see Ethereum knocking on the door of $500 in the short term. Like, don't be too surprised by it, right? I mean, it's not really that far fetched that something like that could happen. And so I do not think that Ethereum will hit $1,400 in 2020. I do not think it's going to happen. I could see us getting to $600, $700, maybe a little bit higher. I don't really see it going too much higher. Maybe $1,000 tops, if we're incredibly lucky. But even then, I sincerely doubt that would happen in 2020. What we're looking for, again, is to consider that, okay, we know that 2019, 2020, and at least the first half of 2021 is our primary accumulation time in lieu of lengthening cycle theory, right? Primary accumulation time. And the reason, right, is because if lengthening cycle theory is true, and say the paradigm shift of Bitcoin going to 100K happens in, say, late 2022 at the earliest, more likely 2023 in my opinion, and as late as 2024, then you want to get all these coins and as many of them as possible, right? So you have the time to accumulate, but also if you're buying Ethereum and you can avoid some of those short-term capital gains taxes, right? On if you're holding it for, say, more than a year, right? So if you're buying Ethereum and then you let's say you're buying it, say, midway through 2021, and then you anticipate the next paradigm shift of the cryptocurrency asset class to be sometime in late 2022, 2023, somewhere in that time frame, then at least you can avoid having to pay short-term capital gains in lieu of long-term capital gains. And of course, that depends on where you live. This is why we talked about with the risk level. For those who are interested in the tax purpose of it, you can have like the gray region in terms of like what risk level you might want to DCA into the market and then DCA out of the market, and of course dynamically. So again, don't be surprised if Ethereum continues to move up. I feel like, and again, don't come at me tomorrow if Ethereum's back down to 430. We recognize this is a possibility. Let's look at the long term. Let's look at what has happened systematically, for Ethereum USD since March, right? I mean, it moves up and it retraces some, right? I mean, it kind of moves up, comes down, moves up like this. So don't get too attached to the short term. We want to focus on the macro move, and the macro move for Ethereum, it seems against Bitcoin, right? I mean, it seems to me that more likely it's going to continue up than it would be to, say, break this trend line in the short term. Now, what would cause the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio to drop down to this level? Okay, and we know what it is, right? You guys know what it is. It's if Bitcoin goes up too quickly, if Bitcoin breaks out to, say, 13K, 14K in the short term, this is most likely coming down. Okay. If Bitcoin goes back down to the 20 week, if it goes back down to here, right, then this is probably coming down. Okay. Bitcoin stays at this level, then it's our Goldilocks zone. It's the zone that Ethereum wants to be in, right? We likely continue to move up, and if we're lucky, we go up a lot quicker and we bubble, right? And then we maybe come back down and then reaccumulate and then continue on our merry way, just continuing on through the cycle, reacting accordingly, not getting too emotionally invested in it, right? It's just business, right? It's just business. It's not, leave the emotions at the door. Leave it at the door. It's business. We're here to make money. Nothing more, nothing less. At least that's why I'm here. Maybe you guys are here for a different reason, but that's why I'm here. And again, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm altruistic in any way. It would be nice if the world adopts blockchain technology, but I care more about making money on the theoretical adoption process than it actually being adopted. If I'm being completely honest, right? And let's be honest here. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll try to get to them in the chat. And before I do, I want to remind you again that if you want to follow like the risk levels in the market, the dynamic DCA in and out of the market according to the risk levels that I've made and what I follow, then remember to check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. So check it out. You get access to a whole lot of stuff. I'll put it in the chat. And the main things you get access to, right, are the premium Telegram alerts channel. I've actually been pretty active in it, posting daily for the most part. I think I posted every single day so far. The chat room, the private chat room, the weekly report, the weekly video, the risk dashboard, and the strategy dashboard. Prices are going up September 28th, so if you want to get grandfathered in, make sure you sign up before then, and then you can also pay with crypto to get a discount. So with that said, actually I want to pull up CoinGecko here. So let me go. I'm not sure why it's on social. So yeah, like if you look at CoinGecko, I mean, you can see that Ethereum has had a pretty good week, right? And this is what we're expecting Ethereum to be one of the primary ones that you want to hold, right? You don't want to get too many. You don't want to have too much exposure to a lot of micro caps. All the time. I mean, I'm not saying you can't invest in some, but remember, at the end of the day, there's only going to be some projects that stand the test of time, and Bitcoin and Ethereum are among the two leaders there, right? Safe if you're looking to keep that money safe, well, as safe as you can, being in crypto, right? These can still kick the bucket too. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and of course, you guys know I'm a big fan of Link, and we've been covering the Link for a long time. And it's still, I think for Link, it's still kind of in a cool down period because it went into a pretty massive bubble, right? It went from $2 or $3 to $20. I mean, it literally done a 10x in a few months. So Link's cooling off right now. Ethereum, maybe it's just maybe it's heating up, right? It's heating up, and again, don't be surprised to see it continue. Okay, so what questions do you guys have? Yeah, Polkadot is at 650. This is one of the ones I am following on. We talked about a little bit about on the YouTube channel, and primarily talking about it on the premium list, of course. Yeah, Polkadot is one that we are going to follow this cycle. As I've said before, I think it does have a role to play. Brian says, how does a major stock market crash affect Bitcoin? Remember, Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, not a hedge against a recession. So I think if stocks start to do poorly, or don't just say poorly, I guess, like if stocks really start to crash and go down by like 30 to 40%, I would anticipate it not being good for Bitcoin, okay? Not being good for Bitcoin, at least in the short term, right? And we saw that already, but you see how quickly Bitcoin recovered, okay? So, so that would be what I say for stocks. But remember, I mean, stocks can stay. A lot of people think that they have to crash immediately. They might not. I mean, they could rally for a long time before crashing. Just keep this in mind. Someone said, do you think that Ethereum and Bitcoin will break its correlation with the traditional market? If you take a pretty rudimentary correlation coefficient analysis of Bitcoin during all three of its major crashes, so the one in from the 2011 to 2012 market, the 2014 crash, and the 2018 crash, if you look at the correlation between the crash of Bitcoin after those blow off tops and correlate it to the S&P 500 at the time, there really isn't much of a correlation. One of the crashes, it was negatively correlated. One of the crashes, it was positively correlated. And one of the crashes, it was not correlated at all. So in recent times, yes, there has been some small correlation, or there has been a correlation, but over the macro scale, there really hasn't been as strong of a correlation as a lot of people think. The main correlation, right, would just be that Bitcoin has moved up over the last 10 years and the S&P has moved up over the last 10 years. Of course, there's a coefficient there because they both mainly they both just had really good markets, bull markets over the last 10 years. But if you look at, say, if you break it down to, say, the bear market, the Bitcoin bear markets, there's not a very strong correlation against the S&P 500 during those bear markets. Someone says they have a bag of Bitcoin Cash. I know yeah, I don't think it's going to stay in the top 10 by any means. If you want to hold it for a pump, it's up to you. I don't really have any thoughts on Bitcoin Cash more than it's not something I would want to be holding right now. Just because, I mean, I'm not saying it can't go up, right? I mean, if the market as a whole goes up, then yeah, I mean, it'll probably go up. But in general, the opportunity cost of holding it, in my opinion, is just way too high. I think you guys just ask the same questions because sometimes I see the same people in the chat like asking the same questions. Thoughts on Plan B stock to flow? I mean, I think the stock to flow model is it's not even really worth talking about. You know, it's not. I think it's more of a marketing gimmick than anything that would be that useful. Nicholas says, does anything keep you up at night? Well, we've talked about this before, right? As we think about a projection for the total cryptocurrency market cap, right, for the next, say, 3 to 4 years, and we talk about it being potentially, $10 trillion plus or minus a few $1 trillion. Like, what's a few $1 trillion among friends? And that was what I joked that's what keeps me up, right? Because as I'm going to sleep, as I drift off, I just think like, what's a few $1 trillion among friends? I don't have any official recommendations for a best exchange because I'm not here to shill any specific exchange. I don't know if there's going to be a small pullback before liftoff. I mean, as I've said before, in terms of Ethereum, it's too risky not to hold. You have to think about accumulating money in a way that, okay, at least this is how I think about it, right? There's all these people out there trying to accumulate wealth, right? Everyone's trying to get a piece of the pie, so to speak. And you're also fighting against inflation, right? So you're not only you're fighting against inflation, there's other people out there, they're trying to make money too. And in my opinion, it is my opinion that if you do not own Bitcoin and Ethereum, for the next, at least some portion of them for the next, 2 to 4 years, it's too much of a risk not to have them. Now again, buying them at any given day, of course, is risky because, you buy Ethereum now, it could go to 400 tomorrow. You buy Bitcoin now, it could go to 10,000 tomorrow. But in terms of a systematic DCA approach, right, where you systematically DCA Ethereum and Bitcoin over the macro scale, right, then it's too much of a risk not to have them, in my opinion, of course. Hey guys, I'll be right back in like 5 seconds. My dog is squealing, so I need to go figure out what's going on. All right, guys. Sorry, my dog was squealing, and I didn't know why. I think she must have heard me talking about XRP again. So sorry about that. All right. Well, I mean, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I mean, again, guys, with XRP, I rag on it. And again, as I've said before, I think there's a time to hold it and there's a time not to, and 99.9% of the time it's not to. But again, you can't discount the few pumps that it does have. You don't just want to write it off, right? You don't just want to write these things off. So it's basically all about it's waiting until Bitcoin gets to its prior all-time high, right? And this is historically what it's been about with XRP. So wait. I would say, for me, not financial advice, for me, I'm gonna wait till Bitcoin gets to its prior all-time high, because this is when the XRP Bitcoin pump happened. And the thing is I think some people would just never purchase XRP, because of it's not cool to have. It's not cool to talk about, right? You're not going to get any love in the crypto community by saying you own XRP. But I know that I would say at least 50% of you have like a secret bag of it that you're not going to talk about. Like you'll pretend like you don't own any, but like deep down we know that you do. And for those people that do, I think that you will be rewarded one day. It's just that the opportunity cost, right, of holding it during these bear markets is it's just enormous. So it's all about timing it, right? We don't worry about these like 2% pumps or something when it's down 90%. So I think its day in the sun will come again, but I just don't think it's now. I don't think it's now. And as I've said before, if you do have a problem with purchasing it, that's fine. But at the same time, if you are able to get in, let's say Bitcoin goes to 20K, and then you decide to get a bag of XRP or something, and then it shoots up like, let's say like it shoots up like 2,500% or something. Like, are you really gonna care if you made that 2,500% on XRP, or are you just gonna be happy that you made 2,500%? What was that quote from Game of Thrones? Where like, do you really think they're gonna wring your hands over the way you built the wealth? I don't think anyone's gonna give you a hard time in that situation if you make a lot of money off XRP. But again, for me right now, it's too risky to hold, because for every dollar that goes into XRP, it's a dollar not in Ethereum, a dollar not in Bitcoin, a dollar not in Chainlink, a dollar not in Polkadot, a dollar not in Cardano, etc. So opportunity cost is too high. Patrick says, Ben, what was the crypto allocation strategy? It's basically looking at modern portfolio theory and developing the efficient frontier based on the Sharpe ratio, looking at your risk-adjusted returns versus your expected returns versus your risk or your volatility. So that's what that is. If you go to my YouTube channel and just search like modern portfolio theory, you'll see a lot of different videos on it. Shin says, why are you not doing TA analysis using Fibonacci to make target price? Because in my opinion, it's just complete and utter nonsense. Like, I just think I think it's useless, right? Because it's a short-term walk. It's geometric bounding in motion, trying to predict these short-term moves using Fibonacci retracements, these Fibonacci levels. To me, it's just absurd, right? And I'm sorry if I offend you by saying that, but again, this is my opinion. And again, another reason why I started the channel is because, I mean, everyone and their mom already made Fibonacci videos, like where they pulled up the Fibonacci levels. Oh, it's going to this level today. I'm not really unique if I just start talking about that, right? We want to look at things from a different perspective, and I think this perspective resonates with a lot of people that either they don't have time to day trade, they recognize that day trading is generally not profitable, or they recognize that a lot of these short-term TA indicators just don't work a lot of times, and people will point to the one time they do as reasons to use them, but there's plenty of times where they just don't work, and people say that they will, or people say that they would work, or that they're gonna work, and then they don't, right? So just, keep this in mind. I understand if that offends people, but it's my channel, so whatever. The Roots Rider says total market cap increase for this bull run. Any charts, projections? As a matter of fact, I'm making this video now, so I'll just go ahead and pull it up here. You can see the presentation. Yeah, so this is the total. I'll make a dedicated video on this too, but I'm just doing an update. So let me just touch on it now so that you can see it. So this is the total cryptocurrency market cap versus since 2010, right? So since 2010, this is the total market cap of crypto. So when it's the red line is a fair value logarithmic regression trend line. So what I'm trying to do here is we're trying to identify phases of undervaluation when it's below the red line, and then phases of overvaluation when it's above the red line. And then furthermore, phases of paradigm shift bubbles, where the bubble's about to pop above the upper green line. You note that each of these peaks above the green line are getting closer to the green line, right? So we would expect the next one to be closer as well. We also recognize that the cycles are getting longer, measured from bottom to bottom, bottom to peak, and peak to peak. All the data says they're getting longer. If they're getting longer and we stay along this trend, let's project out that the next peak will be in 2023, and let's go up from there. We go to the green line. We think that it's going to go slightly above the green line, peak right above it, but not too high above it, and we go over and see that it's approximately a market cap of $10 trillion. And so when we talk about $10 trillion, this is why I say it's $10 trillion plus or minus a few $1 trillion, right? Because we don't know exactly where it's going to go. But if you take the closing price or the closing market cap of the day and divide it by the regression line, then this is what you get, right? And you can see the general downtrend, right? You see the general downtrend from peak to peak to peak. Here it is. you see the general accumulation phase, right, of the cryptocurrency, the total cryptocurrency market cap, which theoretically we are still in the accumulation phase. And then you look at it, right, and you say, okay, this peak corresponds to this one, this peak corresponds to this one, this peak corresponds to this one. So then the next peak, 2023, may be an overvaluation of 600 to 700% from the fair value. And the fair value is probably going to be 2 trillion or so. So you do the math, right? If it's like a 300 to 500% overvaluation, and the fair value is say 1 to 3 trillion, or whenever it happens, it's putting the total market cap at 10 trillion plus or minus a few trillion. What's a few trillion, among friends? This is the point. So good question. I'll make a dedicated video on this probably tomorrow, because if you look at my channel, I've started making these update videos on the 1st of the month. So look for a video dedicated to this to come out tomorrow. So good question though. So I think the total cryptocurrency market cap will reach approximately $10 trillion plus or minus a few trillion in about 3 years. And if you look, during the last cycle, 2015, 2016, we spent a long time below the fair valuation line, right? Which is where we are now. We're still technically below it, and we're undervalued by approximately 8%. So the trend line says that we should be at 411 billion, but in actuality, we're at 377 billion. So technically, we're undervalued by about 8% or so. Ethereum's still at 443 or so. Joe Crypto says, what are the chances? I can't tell you really the chances that Bitcoin goes to the 20-week in the short term. It's certainly a possibility, right? You always have to be prepared for it. We're going to go there at some point. It's currently at 98.96, right? So the 20-week moving average is getting close to $10,000, okay? And, it was the highest, right, has been, here it is in March of 2018, the 20-week moving average was at $11,226 or so. So it hasn't been this high very many times, right? If you look at the macro scale, you can see that 20-week moving average is it's flirting with some of these levels that it was in the past, right? So, sorry, my screen just went out for a second. So if you look at the 20-week, you go across, you can see that we haven't been at these levels very much in the past. So we're moving up. If Bitcoin moves sideways for a while, the 20-week is going to start joining Bitcoin. And the reason it's starting to go up so quickly, and we said this was going to happen, right, a few months ago, is if you take a measured move from the current week and go back 20 weeks, we're replacing weekly closes at $7,000 with weekly closes at $11,000. This is why it's going up so quickly, okay? And it's going to continue going up this quickly for at least the next few weeks, even if Bitcoin isn't really moving up a ton, right? Because we're getting rid of these much lower candles down here, right? Once we get to this level, then Bitcoin was just moving sideways again. So the main contribution to the 20-week to go up would be, if we're just holding these levels or moving up, right? So once we, in a few more weeks, in about 3 more weeks, the 20-week moving average is not going to be moving up quite at this angle, right? It's probably going to flatten off some. This is what I would expect. So I would expect this to start to curve over. Once it curves over, maybe then we come test the 20-week moving average and see what Bitcoin's made of, right? I don't have any thoughts on short-term silver prices. I mean, I think I'm pretty. I think it's going to probably move up over the next 5 to 6 years. But in the short term, I really couldn't tell you. I think it's probably going to do quite well though over the next, say, like 5 years. Also, if you guys want to join the Telegram channel, make sure you do so. I'll put the Telegram channel in the chat for those who wanna join it. Tesla thoughts. It's really testy right now, right? The risk is really high. I mean, tread carefully if you're buying at these levels. I'm not buying at these levels. If any, I mean, I'm not. I already sold some. I still own about 30% of my Tesla, of my original Tesla position. So, you know, I'm certainly not buying right now though. Not Tesla. Let's take a closer look here at this ratio. So if we take a line here and say where we currently are, let's change it. When we go across, you know, you can see that we've been here. The last time we were here, well, I mean, we were there a few days ago, but before that, before we were above this level, was back in 2019. So it's been over a year since the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. If we break through this, it's been over a year since we were at this level. And then the next time before that was January. So January and February of 2019. And this, you know, this corresponds. We're getting close to the, you know, to the 0.04 level. So, you know, 0.04 is, you know, is right here. A little bit lower. So 0.04 is right there. If we break through 0.038, move up to 0.039, probably just a matter of time in the short term before we get up to 0.04. So look to see that level. We'll see if we can break through it. I imagine it would hold some resistance, right? Theoretically speaking. But then again, I mean, a lot of people thought that 6,000 was going to hold resistance for Bitcoin back in 2019, and it sliced through it like butter, right? Like a hot knife going through butter. So, and one of the things too, right, is you know, once it gets past these levels, we're kind of, you know, it's kind of like after that, it's mostly clear skies, right? I mean, we were not in this region for super long, right? I mean, from May of 2017 to August of 2018, only about a year was the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio in this regime, right? So again, what I'm looking for those that are just joining, what I'm hoping to see over the next few weeks, right, is a sustained rally of the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio for a timely move back down into the accumulation range, for a timely December buy, and then followed by a nice maybe subsequent move in the first quarter of 2021. So that's what I would be looking for. We'll see if it happens, right? And as we've said, I mean, I'm not clairvoyant. I don't have a crystal ball. You know, Ethereum could easily come back down, or it could go sideways. What we've said all along, right, is the conditions, the market conditions, are perfect for a bubble to form. Like it's a necessary condition, but it's not sufficient. So it's a necessary but not sufficient condition for a Ethereum Bitcoin bubble to form. So it could easily happen. If it happens, we're not going to be surprised because the conditions were there all along, saying it's primed and it's ready to go. Like it's ready to go. So we would not be surprised if it happens. The main thing stopping it from potentially happening, again, as you guys know, it would be Bitcoin kicking the bucket, or it would be Bitcoin shooting up to like 14K in the short term. Bitcoin shoots up, a lot of the money is just going to pour into Bitcoin. Like, say bye to your altcoin bags for the most part in the short term, because most of them are going to bleed against Bitcoin. Maybe they go up against USD, but they're probably going to bleed profusely against Bitcoin if Bitcoin makes a move to like 14K or something. So what we want for Ethereum, of course, is for Bitcoin to just chill out in these levels, and for Ethereum to continue moving up. Now, one of the things that we've noticed, of course, with Ethereum is that, what have you seen? What have you seen happen time and time again with Ethereum? What have you seen? You see Ethereum make the first move, it stays bullish, and then it drags Bitcoin up with it, right? So what does that mean? Well, what it means is if Ethereum is staying at 445, let's say it stays between like 440, 445, 450, 460, 470, you see that happening? If you see that happening, probably Bitcoin's going to make another move to 12K. Probably. It's probably going to make another move to 12K. And then you see the systematic continued shift of the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, where the Ethereum ratio against Bitcoin continues to climb, right? 0.0, we started at, we were in the 0.02s not too long ago, and then it just continues to systematically climb up the ladder, right? I mean, it's been months since I drew these trend lines, but I keep them on the chart. I keep these main ones on the chart, not the middle one, just that was when I drew in the video, but I keep these on the chart just so you can see it. I'm not changing these trend lines, right? We drew these trend lines a long time ago. I'm just looking at a fundamental shift in this momentum, right? We said things that are moving down tend to continue moving down. Now, that would have played out for a really long period of time. Then, at some point, you see that shift, right? For those who do like technical analysis, right? Your double bottom. And then, we shifted our trend, and now we're moving up. It's not rocket science, right? Just looking at the data. By the way, I probably will do another risk video on Ethereum pretty soon, maybe in the next few days, so be on the lookout for that. And again, if you're unfamiliar with the risk levels, it's just part of the premium list, right? So check out the premium list again if you want access to the risk levels, which is what I use to trade these momentum shifts in the market, right? It's not based on emotion, it's just based on the risk levels. So check it out, intothecryptoverse.com. Bitcoin is slowly moving up again. And again, as we said, you see Ethereum hold these levels. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin start testing 12K. So don't be surprised by any stretch of the imagination, because it's just a repetition, right? It's a repetition. Ethereum moves up, and then at some point it cools off, and then Bitcoin moves up. So right now, Ethereum's still hot. I think Ethereum's still hot, and it could easily start moving again. So keep an eye on it for sure. I can't tell you the next link buying opportunity, man. We talked about it on the channel for months, right? When it was a few bucks. I think it could continue the bubble, right? Link could continue going up, but I think it is somewhat in a cool down period right now. When it continues to run, it continues to run, and if the bubble continues to come down, then that's what happens. This is why I say you systematically take profits on the way up, because we don't know where the top is. Someone says, what do you think of XRP? I'll let the chat answer that question. I hope you guys get the idea at this point. Someone says, what is your what's like the antithesis to the being bullish on Bitcoin? Is there anything that would cause you to write off lengthening cycle theory in the short term before end of 2021? I would say that for lengthening cycle theory to have any remnant of not being true, we need to see a sustainable $20,000 Bitcoin within the next like 5 months or so. If Bitcoin gets to a sustainable $20,000 within the next 5 months, I think there's a good chance that it could go parabolic in 2021. I anticipate, however, that I don't think it's going to reach 20K in 2020, but if it does, I don't think it would be sustainable. I think people would get excited, it would get to 20K, and then it would probably come back down to like 14K or something. So I think though that for Bitcoin to have a chance of going to 100K in 2021, it needs to get to 20K by January of 2021. If it can get to 20K by January of 2021, then maybe it can reach 100K by the end of 2021. But it's a sustainable 20K, not a bubble 20K, a sustainable 20K. And we've talked about it before, right? I mean, Bitcoin basically is just it's going up these steps. It's just a step. It's like stepping stones to 20K. Remember? Let's actually go ahead and pull up the BLX because I already have it on there, I think. Right. So you look, you just as a reminder. Let's look at the weekly chart. So this is what we've talked about before. This is the price of Bitcoin over the macro scale, right? You have your parabolic move, your bear market, your systematic move to the prior all-time high, and then it goes parabolic. Your bear market, your systematic move to the prior all-time high, then it goes parabolic. Your bear market, your systematic move to the prior all-time high, and then you go parabolic. And then again, if you put on here the regression band, you can see where we are. I mean, we're right in the middle. Well, we're above the middle of the regression band, but you recognize like the times to accumulate Bitcoin, right? These are those times. These are those times, right? And so I would say that it's more likely, I mean, maybe it comes up in the short term, right? But I still think it's more likely to take till, another 16 months or so to get to a sustainable 20K. Joseph Moore says most XRP holders can't wait for it to go up, like 4 cents, so they can say I told you so. Like Ben said, there's so much money and opportunities being missed while holding XRP goes up a little. This is exactly hitting the nail on the head, right? Like you're holding XRP for years. You brag about it going up like 30% or something, but it's like, think about all the gains you missed out on with that opportunity cost. Like it's like, congratulations on your 20%. I'll take the 400% that I saw instead, right? This is the idea. So again, if the market trends upward, coins like XRP and Litecoin and even forks of Bitcoin are probably going to move up too. But it doesn't mean that it was the best decision. I mean, there's a likely scenario where there was many other coins that were in the top 10 that performed much better. I mean, because even, and we showed this the other day, if you take a measured move of the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio from October of 2019 to the present day, it's gained 66% against Bitcoin. Okay, 66%. Now, I want to do something else. Now, let's take XRP Bitcoin since October of 2019. Okay, so let's remove the regression band because that's Ethereum. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a measured move from October of 2019 to current day. XRP is down 33% against Bitcoin since that time period, since this little peak here, down 33% against Bitcoin. Ethereum also had a peak against Bitcoin in October of 2019, but it is 66% up against Bitcoin. So again, it's all about that opportunity cost. And what do you know, as we sit here, Ethereum, what is this called, right? Business as usual. The stoked one says, do you have an accumulation band for Link? I do have an accumulation band for Link, but it's on the premium list. I can't put everything out on the public channel. So if you want to check it out, go to intothecryptoverse.com. I'm not talking about the accumulation range for Link for me right now, because as you guys know, I accumulated Link aggressively for a long time, and then when it went parabolic, I was starting to dynamically DCA my cells, right? And guess where those cells went? And the most recent one went to Bitcoin. The one a few days before that one went to Ethereum, and then now Link is down and Ethereum's up. So again, it's just a systematic move. It's just business as usual, right? Ethereum's moving up. Watch it. It's probably going to pull Bitcoin up, right? If you see this continue to move up, Bitcoin's going to probably move up too. And now it's already at 11.5, 11.756. I'm actually curious to see what Link is doing. Let's see what Link's doing. Okay, Link's back at 16. Yeah, I mean, I would say that, Link is definitely, it's risky, right? It's risky. I mean, because it was only, and I mean, you guys know I've said it more than once. I've said Link. Link is a coin, as we've said with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Link is a coin that I would not want to risk not owning during the market cycle, right? Buying it now is a risky play, right? Buying it now is a risky play. I'm personally not buying it right now, but I already own a lot of Link. I don't need to buy it right now. I do think that Link will perform very well this cycle, and I've been saying it since it was $2. Like, go back and look at the videos, right? Link will perform very well this cycle, but it's going to have these boom and bust phases, right? And you want to avoid buying it, at the, you don't want to be the schmuck coming in and buying it when it's like $20 when it's recently up 10x, right? So you need to be careful about how you go about accumulating it. One of the ways you could do it, if you have literally zero exposure to Link and you're just wanting to get some, you could just DCA, right? I mean, just set up like a weekly DCA. You say, okay, I'm going to put like X amount of money into Link every this amount of days, and then you just stick to it, and it's just business, right? It's just business as usual. You recognize that if it goes down in the short term, it's an opportunity. Again, I'm not buying Link at these levels. I hope it goes up over the long term. I think that it's probably going to reach $100 in the next couple of years, right? And we've talked about this before. If you look at the Link Bitcoin ratio, so let's take a look here at the Link Bitcoin ratio. As we've said many times, this is a trend that I want to be a part of, right? This is a trend I want to be a part of. And the thing is if we stay, let me draw that a bit better. Let me pull it down some. I mean, the argument, right, is if Link stays, I mean, let's be pessimistic, right? Let's be conservative. If Link stays in this band here and then continues moving up until Bitcoin gets to its prior all-time high, and let's say Bitcoin gets to its prior all-time high in 16 months, the ratio of Link to Bitcoin during that time, in a bearish capacity, might be around 0.002 or so. Which, by the way, I mean, it's not far from already. And I mean, like if Bitcoin is worth 20K and the ratio is 0.001, Well, I mean, if it's 20K, right, point one, right, would just be $2,000. 0.01 would be $200, and then 0.001 would be 20 bucks. So if it's 0.002, it's 40 bucks. But there's a good chance that it could, easily bubble, right, in this area, or do something like this where it continues on up and it goes parabolic. Remember, we don't know what Link is going to do during a bull market. It's mainly just existed in a cryptocurrency bear market. It has been bullish, right? Link has been excessively bullish, right? I mean, you see this parabolic move, basically. So we don't know what it's capable of during a bull market, and this is why I've said for a long time, it's too risky not to hold, in my opinion, over the long term. Now, with that said, I mean, Link is up significantly. So, I would not be surprised in the very least if it comes down and cools off a bit. We'll see what happens. And I mean, for all I know, it's going to further bubble before retracing. But if you go back and look at the Ethereum USD chart, which by the way is now above 450, if you go back and look at 2016 during similar market conditions as today, Ethereum versus USD, let's take it from the fair value bottom here, it pumped 1,400 to 1,500%, and then it retraced 50%. So this move here was a 50% drop, and if you got in down here, you're probably feeling pretty good up here. But if you were one of those fools that bought at the top in the short term, you probably felt pretty bad, over the next few months buying at that level. But I mean, it didn't really take that long it did capitulate again down here, but then it continued to move up. So market conditions are fairly similar. And if you take it from, say, I don't even know where to take it from, right? I mean, like, what low do you take it from? It's basically just been moving up. Well, I mean, I guess this is on Kraken. Let me switch it over to a different exchange that goes back further. So if you take it from, say, here and go up, it's up about 1,000%. Okay, Link's up about 1,000%, as we said, over the last few months. Remember, Ethereum was up 1,400% back in February 2016 during a similar market condition phase. Okay, and if you look at, and then if you go back over here, and if you extended this up to 1,400%, it would put it, at a $25 Link. I don't know if it's going to make it that high or not. I have already taken profits of Link. If you follow the premium list, I took some profits at $18.50. But again, check out the premium list if you're interested in the exclusive content. Again, it's intothecryptoverse.com. And remember, prices are going up soon, so if you want to get grandfathered in, make sure you check it out, because prices are going to go up a lot, actually. I don't want people to think I'm just going to raise them by like $5 or something. Like, they're going to go up substantially. Who knows what we call this? Let's see if the chat can correctly guess. What do we call what's happening? Does anyone know what we call this? Business as usual, folks. Business as usual. This is exactly what the data said was likely going to happen. And then this is what's happening. And what did we say? I mean, we said it earlier in the video. Like, at this rate, don't be surprised if and when Ethereum makes a run at 500. It's almost inevitable at this point, right? It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. It's just a matter of time. And as you can see too, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is continuing to go up. This is what we want to see, right? Bitcoin's going up. You see Bitcoin going up, but it's important to pay attention to the subtle facts here, the subtle nature of what's going up quicker. Ethereum is going up quicker. because you see the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is going up. It was 0.0379 earlier during the stream, and now it's 0.0385. We're already halfway to 0.039. So, we're breaking, as we speak, right? We're breaking into this range. Remember earlier I just drew it at the top, and now it's breaking into this range between that'll take us up to, to 0.04. So 0.04 could bring in some resistance. I think there's a chance that 0.04 could come with some resistance. Right? It doesn't mean that the price of Ethereum has to drop. Maybe Bitcoin starts picking up steam. But look to 0.04 as a potential I mean, just looking at it here, it seems like it might be something to take a look at. We're really not that far away from it, right? I mean, we're at 0.0386 right now. It only needs to go up, from the current price. It only really needs to go up around 4% against Bitcoin, and I mean, it already did 4% today. So another 4%, and it's already up to that level. Now it's 0.0387. I mean, this is, again, it's just business as usual, folks. Let's see the chart. You can see the last time I looked at it, it was 444. Well, now it's saying 449. It's obviously behind. Again, Chainlink's not really moving a whole lot. Bitcoin's sort of keeping up. Now Bitcoin's at 11.8. But you notice the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is still climbing. Chris, if you just joined the premium list, it's not on Discord. It's on Telegram. There's a private alerts channel and a private Telegram chat room. So make sure you check that out. You should get a welcome email once you sign up. All right, guys. This is interesting. It's because it's really climbing quickly. We're at 0.0388. All right, it's flirting with 460. Are we surprised? No. I mean, it's business as usual. We said this is likely going to happen. Yeah, and again, Link isn't doing so hot right now. I mean, it's not doing a ton. And one of the reasons, right, is because when Bitcoin's moving up, Link tends to not do so well. Again, having both of these assets is a good thing in terms of a risk management standpoint, because their negative volatility days tend to cancel each other out, and thus it improves your risk-adjusted returns. And this is what you want. You want to improve the covariance matrix and calculating your risk-adjusted returns, and owning Link and Bitcoin is able to help accomplish that. It's getting pretty close here to 0.04. People are saying go to the 1 minute chart. I don't think I've ever looked at a 1 minute chart on my channel. Yeah, can we get some upvotes? We only have 165 likes. I mean, we've been covering, I told you guys this is likely, this is exactly what we're going to see. Let's get some upvotes. We're only at 165. Let's raise awareness to what's going on here. Mike, prices are going up September 28th. So if you want to get grandfathered in, sign up before that. Chibi says you made a video on XMR the other day but never mentioned again. I do talk about it on the premium list. I don't have time to make videos every day on every single coin. But the alerts channel on Telegram is a way that I can quickly communicate my thoughts without having to make like a full video on it. And again, what I would expect here is I would expect that if this move, I mean, it could cool off a bit, right? I mean, we're now at 456. Don't get, remember too that the price of Ethereum, let's zoom in here. I mean, yesterday on August 31st, the price was as low as 414, and now it's at 456. So I mean, it's been moving up fairly quickly. So what you want to look out for is if Ethereum and Bitcoin continue moving up and they keep killing it, Link is probably not going to go parabolic in the short term, is my guess. I mean, it already did, right? I mean, it's given us enough in the short term. If you see, if you see these continue to move up, right? I don't think Link is going to go to like $20 tomorrow if Ethereum and Bitcoin keep moving up the way they are. Okay, a lot of people are saying XMR. So I did make this video on XMR the other day, Monero. So yeah, I mean, we're basically just identifying a potential accumulation range down here for Monero against Bitcoin, and looking for it to eventually, and I don't know if it's going to break upwards soon or if it's going to come back down and then break upwards, but I do think there's a good chance that Monero will break upwards against Bitcoin. And remember, back in 2016, its major move against Bitcoin came later than the Ethereum Bitcoin move. So it was the Ethereum Bitcoin move came first in early 2016, and then the Monero Bitcoin move came later 2016. So still look to Monero in the future as well for a potential breakout against Bitcoin. Jimmy says, what do you think about DOT right now? I mean, DOT is, again, I think it has a role to play this cycle. It's a coin I hold. I am staking it, and I'm just gonna let it ride for a bit, right? It's too new to. I did take some profits at around $6. I took some profits, but maybe it wasn't a whole lot. It was about 10%, and I'm just letting the rest ride. For right now, I'm just letting it ride, and we'll see what happens. I just don't think there's really enough data to make a useful decision right now, and I think it has a role to play, and I'm happy to just sit on that investment for the time being. Can we get up to 300 likes? Just 40 more? Can we do that? I heard a rumor, by the way. I heard a rumor that Ethereum can't get above 460 because we don't have 460 likes. It's just a rumor. Take it for what you wish, but it's just a rumor I heard. It's just a rumor, guys. I mean, I'm just telling you what I heard. Like, it's hearsay, right? We don't know if it's true, but it could be true. So how do you feel knowing that there's a chance that you're the reason that you're keeping the price of Ethereum below 460? I honestly don't even know why I asked you to guys give me likes. I mean, give me likes if you want. I guess it helps in the YouTube algorithm. I don't really know. Make sure you subscribe. Actually, instead of liking, I would actually appreciate it if you subscribe more so than liking the video, so you can at least see future updates, right? So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys like the content, and like the data science approach to the markets, the logarithmic regression, looking at fair value trends, and trying to predict these momentum shifts in the market based on data science rather than your traditional TA, right? Jacob says, what is your main source of crypto news? So this is one of those contentious points that I hold that a lot of people probably disagree with. It's basically the idea that the news is somewhat irrelevant, right? In a bull market, people ignore the bad news, and in a bear market, people ignore the good news. So yeah, I do read the news sometimes, but I don't really let the news influence my decisions, because I just really don't think that Bitcoin cares a whole lot about the news, right? I mean, if Bitcoin is in a bear market and you say that some exchange got hacked or something, or raided, right, the entire market's going to dump. You could say the same thing in a bull market, and literally just no one cares. It's just as simple as that. Someone said, "What is Ethereum's all-time high?" It's around $1,400, right? I mean, that was back in 2018. If you go back to 2018, it was around 1,400. So it was right there. Let's zoom in here. Well, this is on Kraken, but I mean, if you just go to the candles, it was around 1,400. We're not looking at the wicks. I'm not even sure how accurate that wick is on Kraken, but if you just go to the candles, it's around 1,400. I'm not going to tell you how much Ethereum I own. I can guarantee, though, if I didn't own a lot of it, I wouldn't be talking about it that much. I don't really follow EOS, Dave. KS says he has a PhD and he likes the empirical approach with a no-nonsense methodology. I don't know if you know this, but I also have a PhD. My PhD is in nuclear engineering. I graduated in 2018 with a PhD in nuclear engineering. Justin says, do you keep a large pot on the side to invest when the entire stock market tanks? Yeah, I think it's important to keep some dry powder ready, because if something does tank, you want to be able to take advantage of it. So, and that goes not just, in traditional markets, but also in crypto as well. Like, I think it's important to have money on the sideline so that you can swoop in, right, and accumulate some of that cheaper asset, and that's what you want to do. So it's a risk not to hold some stable coins or some USD just on the sideline, ready to swoop in at an opportune time. Tom says, what do you plan to cover? What do you plan to do after you cash out of the market? It's just business as usual, right? I mean, we're going to move. It's a systematic move, right? I mean, I get people are excited about crypto, but how many of you, let me know in the chat, how many of you lived through the bear market and don't want to live through another one, right? Let's be pragmatic here. Who wants to live through another bear market in crypto? So the goal is, right, is to get out of crypto before the bear market happens, right? Or to at least sell most of your crypto before a multi-year bear market happens. So then you move from, something like, you move from, say, crypto, you move to stocks, you move to real estate. Maybe real estate's going to see a crash in the next few years because of the mortgage forbearance program ending, right? People are going to have to pay their mortgages. Commercial real estate is going to hit the market like crazy because of all the businesses going out, or all the companies going out of business. So you're probably going to want to diversify, right? If you're holding a lot of crypto and you're looking for an exit strategy, you're probably going to want to first move that into like safe investments, right? Again, I said this in the stream the other day. Don't think of it as like the house's money, right? Like think of it, it's your money, you worked hard for it, you took the risk to get it, and then you got it. You got that return that you took the risk for. It's not the house's money, it's your money. Maybe put it in a mutual fund, and not financial advice, but I would put it in a mutual fund, an index fund, maybe real estate, maybe some individual stocks, and just like come up with a plan. Like let the FOMO wear off, so that you get accustomed to what the new normal is. And until you get accustomed to the new normal, don't start throwing your money away gambling on random altcoins that you see someone shilling on Reddit. That's my advice to you. Someone said if we stop at 445, we'll form a double top on Ethereum. I'm guessing you must be talking about like a closing candle or something, because it's already at 457. And I don't know what time frame you're looking at, but I mean, it's already way up here. So I mean, maybe you're talking about if it comes back down and this ends up just being a wick, or a short-term wick. And then maybe you say that like this was a potential double top. But again, I mean, you could have said the same thing many times before, right? You could have, and this is why I say I don't think traditional TA is really that accurate, because there's plenty of times where you could look at markets and say, oh well, that was a double top, right? And it corrected in the short term, but then it came straight back up and then made another move. So it did not really work here. So again, even these double tops, I don't really know how useful they are. I mean, they're useful in hindsight, but in hindsight, it doesn't matter anymore. What other questions do we have? Make sure you subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Click the bell icon if you want to get notifications of new videos. Remember again, I'm probably going to wrap it up soon, but remember again to check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com if you want access to the alerts channel, the private chat room, the premium videos, the premium reports, the risk dashboard, and the strategies dashboard. And you can pay with crypto to get a 6 to 12 month subscription for a discount up to 15% for 12 months. And remember, the prices are going up September 28th. If you want to get grandfathered in at the lower price, sign up before that. I'm just wondering if Ethereum's going to make another move. I'm probably going to head out soon. Someone said, when do you think we're going to hit 4 digits with Ether? It depends on what you mean. Like, do you mean a sustainable 4-digit Ether, or do you mean a like a bubble 4-digit Ether. If you want access to a lifetime subscription to the premium list, just send me an email. So go to the website and go to the contact me page, or just message me on Telegram. I told you guys, I think the main thing keeping Ethereum from going to 460 is the fact that we don't have 460 likes. It's not my fault if you guys can't get us there. So in terms of Ether getting to a sustainable $1,000, I don't think it would happen this year. I think for Ethereum to get to a sustainable $1,000, we're probably looking at the end of 2021, if I had to guess, to a sustainable $1,000. We might get to a short-term $1,000 this year. It's possible, or maybe early 2021. It's certainly possible, but I don't think it would hold. I think we would come back down below it in the short term. So, yeah, we could get to $1,000 within a few months. It's theoretically possible, but what I'm more so looking for is the sustainable $1,000, which I still think we're a year away from, at the very least. Still at 0.0388. This is not move we were anticipating, though. And you can see it. I mean, it's going into bubble territory, right? I mean, you can see that we're slowly getting to the upper trend line over here. So, I mean, if we were to make it there, which, I mean, is somewhat arbitrarily drawn, but, I mean, it's looking at maybe a ratio of 0.045, which is still a pretty significant move up, right? We're talking about maybe another 20% move up against Bitcoin over the next few weeks, potentially, if the bubble plays out like we're hoping it does, which means that Bitcoin needs to not get too crazy, either to the upside or the downside. Someone says once the US wakes up, Ethereum will go on a run. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I haven't gone to sleep yet. I think someone says, what are the key resistance levels? I mean, probably, I can't say for sure. I mean, I think an Ethereum Bitcoin ratio of 0.04 could hold some resistance there. I mean, it did hold it twice in the past. So potentially an Ethereum Bitcoin ratio of 0.04. Someone says I need to convince someone to enter Bitcoin and Ethereum. Any advice? I think it's probably best that you don't try to convince people, because what happens is like, if it goes down, like you're just the person to blame, right? Like you're the person to blame. They already probably know that you're into it, and I can already guarantee you that if it starts moving up, well, I can almost guarantee you that if it continues to move up, then they'll probably come to you. What you don't want to do is convince someone to move in after everything's already up, like 4x in the short term or 3 to 4x in the short term, and then have them invest and then watch it come down. So you don't want to risk being in that position. And I mean, remember, guys, the time we covered it on the channel, right? The time to accumulate Ethereum was in the regression band. We made so many videos on it, right? This was the time. This was the best time, you know, or even down here, the best time. Up here, it's a lot riskier. Look at it, holding resistance at 460 because we never got to 460 likes. Have you guys seen that meme where it's like you have to end every sentence when you're talking to someone about crypto, you have to end every sentence with "but I don't know though," because you have to kind of hedge against the fact that it could come crashing back down. Oh, 460. I guess it was just a rumor. $461. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. 1183. All right, look, Ethereum Bitcoin is now at 0.039. So we are getting up there. This is the key, right? We see that they're both moving up, but you see that Ethereum is moving up quicker. This is the key thing to note. Ethereum is moving up quicker because the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is climbing. 462. Bitcoin's at 11.8. We said if Ethereum keeps doing this, it's going to pull Bitcoin above 12K. So watch for Bitcoin to potentially make a move at 12K soon, within a few hours, right, at this rate. And you can see Ethereum's blasting off, Bitcoin's doing well, Link's not doing a whole lot. It's still at around 16 bucks, despite the fact that Ethereum and Bitcoin are really shooting up. Again, I love Link, and I own Link right now. I'm just saying that Ethereum was a lower risk play in the short term. Shark says, Ben, you need to end all your videos with "but I don't know though." Could do that. Ethereum likely going to, bubble this summer, but I don't know though. It's kind of funny because it was, it was in the 440s not that long ago, and we said it's probably going to make a move. The move to $500 almost just feels like inevitable, right? And we're watching it make it a significant portion of the way there just during this live stream. Ethereum, Bitcoin still climbing, 0.0391. Oh, guys, I read the rumor changed. It was the resistance was at 465. So we need 465 likes to break 465. It was not 460. I just made a rounding error. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the show and you want to see future ones, these crypto parties. as you guys know, I get a lot of trolls on the channel that I have to block from the channel. But I thought one was pretty funny. I really actually laughed when I read it. It was I did a live stream where I said like crypto watch party, and someone was like laughing at the fact that I was calling it a party. I was just thinking to myself, I mean, to me, making a lot of money during a live stream, like during things like this, where you just see the value of Ethereum, skyrocket. Like, just think about all the money being made, right? Just in the last hour. I mean, to me, making a lot of money is a party. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a party to make a lot of money, or not? I told you we were gonna hold resistance at 465 because we didn't have the likes to back it up. Josh says you're a PhD. The data supports the theory that the YouTube algorithm is strongly correlated with the Ethereum pump to 500. Limitations to the results are I don't know though. No, it's not I don't know though. It's but I don't know though. And it's not, you don't actually spell out I don't know. You just say IDK, but IDK though, and then just put TH0 or THO. Don't spell it out. You got to make it as clean as possible. So again, this is the short term, right? What's the long term picture? I've said before, people have asked me, like, I don't know if you guys, like, where you guys live, people will say, like, what's your favorite, if you have, like, a favorite mountain range, like, you like to go hiking on. Some people will say, like, the Appalachians, there's the Rocky Mountains. If you're in other countries, obviously there's other mountain ranges. Obviously, like the Mount Everest being the peak, and in the Himalayas. What I like to say is personally speaking, I like the Ethereum mountains. These ranges are the ones I like the most. You can see these mountains. These are the mountains that I enjoy spending the most time on. Someone says your kids argue about the charts to try to get pizza and ice cream. We have a third one on the way. I tried convincing my wife to name the child Ether, but that was not it was a no-go. if we have a girl one day, maybe we'll name her Isabella for Bella, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, and ADA. Well, I mean, guys, this has been a pretty systematic move up, right? We see the move up. You know what? Let's switch over. Let's look at the 1 minute chart just to see these short-term moves here. Auto. So yeah, like over the last little bit of time, you know, we're just basically seeing these moves up and then a retracement, a move up and then a retracement, a boom up and then a retracement. It doesn't mean we're about to immediately drop all the way back down. It's just business as usual, of course. Again, these are, I don't think you can reasonably predict these, right? I mean, it's just, I think it's more so a random walk in the short term. I mean, maybe we go up, or sorry, you know, maybe it goes up in the short term, maybe it goes down. It's really hard to say what it's gonna do in the short term. Josh says, could always use the C in your last name to give her the initials of something like BTC. This is what has annoyed me, as many people know, I have a twin brother. My initials, my first initial and last initial are BC. My twin brother got the middle name that starts with a T. But if it had been me, my initials would have been BTC. I think I've written it off as a key missed opportunity at this point. The premium channel doesn't really do tutorials right now. It might one day, but it's not right now. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's fair. I mean, we do some tutorial type stuff, but it's a lot of learning. There's a lot of learning going on. I'd say, like learning how to use the risk metric, learning at the long-term trends, how to stick to a plan, right? Don't let the emotions cloud your judgment. For the premium list, that's primarily what we focus on. And again, if you're new and you want to join the premium list, it's intothecryptoverse.com. So if you're looking, you know, one of the perks that I think that people like the most are the alerts channel, and then with the alerts channel, there's a private chat room, which is, you know, I'm pretty active in these other places. So if you don't see me on YouTube, I'm probably in those chat rooms. Ethereum Bitcoin is still at 0.039. So we'll see. I mean, you know, if business as usual continues to occur, then it's not going to be long before it tests 500. We don't talk about leverage on the channel because I don't want people to go leverage stuff and not understand what they're doing. Let's check out CoinGecko to get a quick snapshot of coins here. DOT moving up, Chainlink. Well, I think Chainlink did move up a little, yeah, a little bit. It's a 1620, 1618. XRP is still 90% down against Bitcoin. Yep, business as usual, folks. What do you guys think? Do you think Ethereum's going to hit 500 in the next week? Or do you think it's going to hit 500 in the next 24 hours, the next month? Let me know how long you think it's going to take for Ethereum to get to that $500 mark. People are saying DOT is moving. Let me just pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up on Binance actually. Yep, it is moving. I actually have to switch over to like a 4-hour chart to really get more of these candles. Yeah, DOT is, as I've mentioned many times, DOT is one of those ones I hold. I think it's going to do quite well this cycle. Yeah, maybe it can break $7. Ethereum still held resistance at 465 because we never made it to 465 likes. It's really a shame that you guys are holding it back. Yeah, DOT is moving 670. Someone says, do you think DOT can outperform Ethereum in this bull run? I really don't know, man. I mean, it's so new. It's really hard to say what it can and cannot do. It has the potential to, for sure. And I think it does have the potential to. But you know, there's a lot more risk that comes with that, right? A lot more risk comes with holding DOT, I think, than Ethereum. So you might get that higher ROI, but you're paying for it, right, with units of risk. I mean, we're watching DOT climb as we speak, right? I mean, it was 666 like a minute ago. Ethereum's back up to almost 465. Look at us holding resistance at 465 again. We got to get those likes to 465. It's a rumor anyways, right? It's a rumor. DOT's still moving. Let's see if I'm curious if it'll break 7. I mean, it seems like everything's just like on fire right now. You guys think it's gonna make it to 7 tonight? What do you guys think happens first? You think DOT breaks $7 first? Or do you think Ethereum passes 465 first? It's close. Dot's almost at 680. Here we go. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. Trying to get the channel to 40,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So let's see if we can make it happen. Yeah, make sure you subscribe if you guys enjoy the content. And give the video a thumbs up. We're almost at 465 likes. Yeah, I was looking at a link too. It is actually starting to move a little, which is it is a little bit surprising to me. We'll see if it holds it for sure. Dot seems to have a little bit more, have a little bit longer legs though right now. Oh, Dot is okay. I'm just curious. I mean, watch us not go back to 465, but I'm curious if they will race for it here. Well, now Dot's pulling back some. I can't stay up too much later. Someone says, "What do you think about Litecoin?" I mean, I don't personally own Litecoin right now. Opportunity cost is too high. I still think, you know, there's a good chance Ethereum, if it continues this, right, it's gonna be dragging Bitcoin past 12K soon. Dot's still at 380 or 680, I mean. All right, let me do a snapshot here to see where everything is. Bitcoin doing well today. Ethereum, I mean, 13% in 7 days, 10% in 24 hours. XRP still 90% down against Bitcoin. Chainlink still up 16 bucks. These are kind of behind a little bit because you can see it's at 659 here, but we know it's, oh, Dot's moving. 685. Is it gonna go above 7 before Ethereum goes above 465? This is the question. All right, it's at that 460, 460, 463, 464, holding that resistance at 460. Oh, it looks like we do have over 465 likes now, so I can't even use that excuse anymore. The ratio, though, is still climbing, 0.0391. So it's still moving up against Bitcoin. You guys think Dot's going to overtake Link in market cap? See, someone said that. Could happen. It's getting close. I mean, this is a rounding error, right? What's $100 million? You know, what's $170 million among friends? It's a rounding error. You guys have any more questions for me? Yeah, it is probably getting time for time to go to sleep. It's really late here. The markets are hot, so it is interesting for sure. You know, I mean, it's flirting with that level, right? It keeps coming up to it. It's been up to 465 several times now, or right at 465, 464. Whew. Remember, you guys should join the Telegram channel, and you can keep this party going as late as you want, even after the stream is over. So make sure you check out that Telegram channel. I just put it in the chat. I'm still looking to see this go up to 0.04. We still have a little ways to go, right? I mean, it needs to go up a few more percentage points here. We'll see if it makes it in the short term, but it might take a few days. I don't know. Maybe from the current price, it needs to go up about 2.5%. So basically, it just needs to break through 465 and then make the next push upwards, like up to 470, 475, and then it'll start getting pretty close. Because I imagine if it does, I mean, Bitcoin though would also move up too, probably. Like if you see Ethereum going up to 375, 380, or sorry, 475, 480, then Bitcoin's probably pushing 11.9 at that point. I don't have any stuff that teaches premium members on how to create their own scientific charts, not right now. I mean, the modern port, 465, we made it, folks. And look, Ethereum made it to 465 before DOT made it to 7, so congratulations for those who picked Ethereum. I told you it was capped. I told you it was capped by the number of likes. See, we have more likes now. We're at 482, and we moved past 465 finally. See, you guys made it happen. Watch this come straight back down. Just kind of a tease. You can see the ratio is moving up, 0.0392. Oh, now I'm not even begging for the likes, and now they're going up to 500. Have you seen like the Breaking Bad? Hank's like, what do you want me to beg? Alright, Link's doing okay. 1640. Ethereum back to 464. The random walk continues. I feel like the Link Bitcoin chart is one of the most impressive charts I've seen because it basically just went up during the bear market. This is one of the most, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of coins that have seen significant gains, but how many of them moved up like throughout the entire bear market, right? I mean, how many of them did this? And the question, right, is, this has been the general trend, but now that we're in a bull market, are we going to come back down and continue the trend, or are we creating like a new trend, right? Where it's super bullish. I tend to think that this is not going to be sustainable. I mean, we're going to peak somewhere, and then it's probably going to come back down and continue on, but I don't know how high it's going to go. Yes, I do earn. Stanford says, do you hold any crypto and interest-bearing accounts? Yes, I do. I feel like this has been a productive stream, I feel like it has been. I think we started the stream when Ethereum was 440. Wasn't it 440 when we started? I think it was. Someone says ratio of Ethereum Bitcoin 0.1. I think it will happen sometime during this cycle. It's not going to happen tomorrow. I do think it'll happen though. Probably not going to happen tomorrow. Looks like Bitcoin has gained a little bit back. I mean, now Bitcoin, you see it's approaching 11.9, getting pretty close to 11.9 here. Ethereum's back over 465. Okay, we're back to 0.03. Okay, it's moving back up. But yeah, I'm looking to see Bitcoin break 11.9 here soon, and especially with Ethereum staying this bullish. So watch out for that. You might see Bitcoin hold resistance at 12K, and wherever Ethereum is at that time could hold resistance as well, especially if it corresponds to maybe a ratio of 0.04. But I mean I do think it's gonna tick on throughout the night, right? I can't stay here all night. Someone says if we get to 12,000 likes, will Bitcoin hit 12K? The rumor's been started. 12,000 likes is what's keeping Bitcoin below 12K. So someone says I'm just tuning in. Quick recap. Bitcoin go up, Ethereum go up, DOT go up, Link go up. That's your recap. All right, here we go. 11.89. Yeah, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio dropped back down again. We'll see if this breaks through. It might honestly give Ethereum a push too. Sometimes when Bitcoin makes that subsequent move, it then kind of pushes Ethereum back up as well. I did do a video on DOT a while back, and I talked about it on the premium list like 2 or 3 weeks ago. There is a public video on DOT a few days ago, maybe like a week ago or so. Thanks, Craig. I'm glad you've liked the channel. All right. Let's see it. You want to be careful with Bitcoin too, right? I mean, if it starts moving too much, this would not be good for Ethereum. Well, it wouldn't be good for the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, right? If Bitcoin gets moving too much, this would not be good for the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. Maybe Ethereum USD would do okay, but the ratio would go down. And in fact, I mean, you can see that with Bitcoin moving up, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio has dropped a little bit. So you have to be careful, because if Bitcoin gets too bullish, then it'll put a stop to the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio moving up. So I don't want it to get too bullish. I basically just want it to be slowly dragged up. Because what I'd like to see is I'd like to see the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio again continue this potential short-term bubble, right? Oh. Dot is Polkadot. It's number 6, in case you have been in a cave. It's currently selling for 676. The market cap is 6 billion. It's a rounding error from number 5. Jack says, what happens if your gas is too low? There is actually a way to stop it. I can't remember the name of it. You basically have to send a second transaction with the inverse of the, what's that word called? I can't remember the name of it. There is a way you can fix it. I just can't remember the exact name of it right now, but just Google it, because I've done it before. Thanks, Ethan, for tuning in. All right, guys. Remember to check out the premium list, intothecryptoverse.com. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here because it's getting pretty late. You get access to premium videos, premium reports, the risk dashboard, the strategies dashboard, the alerts channel, and the private chat room. So check it out. Prices are going to go up on the 28th. So if you want to get grandfathered in before that, make sure you sign up. You can also pay with crypto for 6 or 12 months, and you can get a discount. And we do have lifetime options for people. It's not official yet, but if you want one, just email me, and we'll go over that. If you have questions or you wanna continue the party, oh, of course, now it goes above 11.9. If you guys have questions, make sure you check out the Telegram channel. So I would like to see you guys in the Telegram channel if you guys want to continue the party in there. But it looks like Bitcoin's taking the lead. 11.9. I'm sure the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is dropping. 0.03875. It's still holding up pretty well with USD though, 461. But Bitcoin has made its move. When Bitcoin moves, Link tends to drop a little bit. I don't know if it has. Not really, not yet. Anyway, 1626, maybe a little bit, not a whole lot. So yeah, it's just a dance, right? It's a dance between the different coins. You know, taking profits. Moving between different coins, right? But doing it systematically rather than trying to day trade, I think. So let me know what you guys think. Again, as I said, if Bitcoin gets too bullish and it starts moving up too quickly, then watch for the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio to bleed a bit. But I mean, this is a short-term move. It's still business as usual, I think. Ethereum's still doing pretty well. I mean, it's at 459, so it has dropped a little bit in the short term. But again, business as usual. If Bitcoin holds these levels, I don't anticipate Ethereum dropping. But if Bitcoin kicks the bucket here, then right, I mean the whole market will go down. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys liked the stream. Give the video a thumbs up. Turn on the notifications. You guys know the drill. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. It seems like this is a good time to wrap it up. The markets. It's been a great night. We'll see where we are tomorrow, right? We'll see where we are tomorrow, and we'll continue on during the market cycle. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.